Top 8 is set. That must mean it's time for the Day 2 end step. I'm joined by Luis Scott Vargas and Gabby Spartz here at the desk. She'll come into frame in a moment.
We swear she's here.
We got 6 Mardu Vehicles decks in our top 8. Luis Scott Vargas, is there any chance that's going to affect our card of the day?
My heart says no. Heart of Kiran is our card of the day here, and Heart of Kiran is showing up not only in those 6 Mardu Vehicles decks, but also in the Jund Energy aggro deck that Martin Yuza played to the top 8. 7 of the 8 decks have Heart of Kiran, a 2-mana 4/4 flying vigilance that also has that alternate ability of crewing it with a loyalty counter. All the decks playing Heart of Kiran also feature some planeswalkers. So what this does is it lets these decks just get on the board with an incredibly large and powerful threat as early as turn 2. The curve of Toolcraft Exemplar into Heart of Kiran is basically what you fear when you're playing as Mardu Vehicles.
I assume, Gabby, you've seen this card all over the place. You spent a lot of time in the feature match area, and you've seen tons of it.
To very good use by everyone. It's an interesting thing because it's a legendary artifact, and sometimes it can be a little dicey how many legendary permanents of the same kind do you want to have in your deck, right? You draw them in multiples, it's not great. But it's so good, it requires an answer. And so it's so likely to die, and then drawing multiple copies of it is great. We also saw it put to good use. People taking loyalty off of Planeswalkers to crew it. Sometimes it looked like the Planeswalker was going to die no matter what, so they just used the Heart of Kiran and, they didn't have to worry about it afterward.
And it feels cheaty to use your Planeswalker twice in one turn, and then maybe even again on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, the Vigilance on the card, Vigilance on Vehicles actually doesn't look like that useful of an ability because you have to spend so many resources to crew it. But Heart of Kiran, the alternate ability, lets you crew it with a creature, maybe attack them, then on their turn use a loyalty counter to block when they attack you back.
Wow. Yeah, the card, we're going to see a lot of this card. You're going to have plenty of opportunity tomorrow to watch it. I know it was in a match that you had a chance to watch, Gabby, that really impressed you, but maybe wasn't necessarily on the winning side. What's your match of the day?
Match of the day had to be probably Alex Hayne versus Ken Yukihiro.
That was round 13, I believe?
It was round 13, yeah. It was, the matchup was Ken on Black-Green Constrictor and Hayne on Mardu Vehicles. And it looked like Ken was going to die. Like, there was no way he was coming back.
Oh, yeah, the advantage bar was dialed to 11.
To
be clear, I wasn't in charge of the advantage bar at the time, so...
Defer responsibility, I see. It looked so likely like he was going to die. He takes this one big attack, and he goes from, I think, 18 to 4. It looks insane. It really does. But then through a combination of Winding Constrictors and Walking Ballistas and really well-used removal spells, he manages to come back in this game where he's one removal spell away from dying the entire game. He just comes back. It was insane.
Yeah, we were talking about Ken Yukihiro earlier in the stream, and you said he's someone that you've always found very impressive.
Yeah, I've seen him play for many years, and this match where he's able to use all of his resources, barely eke out a win. I mean, those are the kind of matches that you live for.
Yeah, and you really get to see that power of the Winding Constrictor and Walking Ballista synergy, where you're just able to just activate, put 2 counters on your Walking Ballista, send all your and he's playing Walking Ballistas for 1 counter. He's just getting stuff out onto the board. He's trying to go as wide as possible now, and then being able to attack and then just remove counters from anything's blocked, anything that hits, you get to remove the counters after it hits.
Yeah, it was awesome. The booth called it because they saw that he was considering not blocking or using a Walking Ballista in that turn. And they're like, okay, there's a big plan coming because there's no way he would have taken this much damage if he didn't have a plan. And then the next turn he's like, pew, 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 got rid of an entire board.
Now, I got to pick team of the day. There was no influence exerted by Luis Scott Vargas here.
As usual, I'm innocent.
As usual, you are not. But, I had a conversation at the Hall of Fame dinner with Martin Yuza, where we were talking about Lucas Blohan. And he was like, Lucas is someone who, he's had so much natural talent for such a long time and was always able to do really well at Magic, but maybe never truly excel, never be at that pinnacle of the game. And then Lucas was like, well, what if I worked at the game? What if I put a lot of effort into it? And Martin realized maybe that was something that he was doing also, and he was guilty of. And he said, I really want to get back to the top 8. I really want to show people that I can fulfill my potential. And because of that, I had to go. I could have gone with either of the Channel Fireball squads, Fire or Ice here, but I had to pick Channel Fireball Fire as my team of the day, based on Martin getting to the top 8 for the first time since 2009. His first top 8 was your first Pro Tour victory.
Yeah, he top 8 in Berlin in 2008, one of 6 Elves players to make top 8, the 6 luckiest Elves players in the room, I assume. And then in 2009, Pro Tour Austin, he made top 8 with also an aggro deck, actually, Tribal Flame Zoo. We were actually talking with Martin recently as in 10 minutes ago, making fun of him because his sideboard plan against Dredge in that top 8 was to side in Ravenous Trap and have Gadok Teagues to stop Dread Return. So he had a Gadok Teague in play and he couldn't cast his Ravenous Trap. And because the interaction of those 2 cards is not what he wants. And he's come a long way since then, and it's great to see him back in the top 8.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna surprise anyone here. He is also our player of the day. Again, getting his 3rd Pro Tour top 8, and he is at the wall with our own Tim Willoughby to tell us about what it means to him. He said he couldn't find the words to describe what it would mean to him, but he's going to try again right now that he's made the 3rd top 8 of his career.
We are now live with Martin User, our player of the day. It's been a long time coming. You have your 3rd Pro Tour top 8. Talk us through a little bit about what got you here, because there was a lot of preparation that made it into this top 8 for you, right?
Yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a good week, good everything. Like, I prepared with Channel Fireball, all the people associated with the entire team. There's too many to name, but there's like 15 people. Everybody did a tremendous job. I'm just happy that it worked out.
And one of the cool things that you were saying is, this is your 3rd Pro Tour top 8. Each time that you've made it, it's playing a deck that you believe in, that you like to play. And that's the case again now, right?
Yeah, the first time it was Elves, which happened to be like the best deck in the tournament by far. The second time it was the 1-drop Zoo in Modern, where I just wanted to play the deck. It wasn't great. I lost the top 8 because I had Revenue Straps and Gadok Teagues in my deck, which I didn't realize until the match in the top 8. And this time around, nobody really believed John was good, but I've had a lot of tournaments lately where I wanted to play some deck and then I switched last moment because I saw all the other people doing well with like a team deck. This time I was just like, I believe in this, I think it's a good deck, I'm gonna play it, and it worked out.
And of course, you have so much experience in limited formats across a whole pantheon of different formats that at this point, going into another draft format, you have to be a favorite to do well in draft, right?
You're never a favorite to 3-0, but I like to think I know more about limited than constructed. I just like drafting, it's fun. And this format happens to be aggressive, which is also what I like doing, so yeah, it was okay.
Now, you've traveled around the world more than just about any other Magic player, and you are letting me know that this Pro Tour is the first time ever that you've missed a flight.
Oh yeah, this might be a first for like everyone. I missed a flight to the PT and out of the PT. So I'm gonna have to buy a new one tomorrow as well as the one I had to buy from Prague to here. But yeah, it's fine. It's all right. I think I'll manage.
A tough problem to have, but one that I'm sure you're perfectly happy to live with. Our player of the day, Martin User.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tim, and thank you, Martin. Congratulations and good luck tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. local time, 1 a.m. Pacific time, merely 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
More importantly, 2 a.m. Mountain Time.
Everyone has their local times. Wherever you are, we hope you're going to be with us. Gabby, before we go, what is your big takeaway here on day 2 of Pro Tour Aether Revolt?
Big takeaway?
Big memory takeaway.
Mardu Vehicles is very strong, and I'm happy about it because
I think ready for it if you're going to be at the Grand Prix next week, right?
Because everybody came here ready to play against a Healy combo, and Mardu Vehicles was ready for that. And now we have a lot of Mardu Vehicles in the top 8, so big takeaway right there. Definitely good.
Luis, how about you?
I was really impressed with Fatal Push. 1 mana removal, killing Heart of Kiran all over the place. The Mardu Vehicles decks utilizing it well. The Black-Green deck utilizing it well. In fact, all the 8 decks in the top 8 have the potential to play Fatal Push, and many of them are. It was being able to utilize your mana in that way seemed like the key to winning this format. The games I watched, if you had a 1-drop and played it, 2-drop, then turn 3, 2-drop plus 1-drop, that's how people were winning games.
All right, for me, Mardu Vehicles may still be at the heart of it, but it's Lucas Berthaud winning his match and that incredible outburst of emotion from him, the incredible support from his Magic community. Just you don't hear people singing, fight songs at Magic tournaments very often. Something I'm not going to forget anytime soon. I can only imagine what it'll sound like if he wins it all tomorrow. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. local time. What is it, Mountain Time?
2 a.m. Mountain Time.
1 a.m. Pacific Time, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that covers all of our...
Central Time?
What's Central Time?
It's going to be 3, I guess.
3 o'clock Central Time. There you go. Make sure you tune in. We'll be here. Hopefully Rich Hagon will be well enough to rejoin us tomorrow. And hopefully you'll rejoin us tomorrow for the top 8 of Pro Tour Aether Revolt. Have a good night.